This year I've prayed for academics, for getting all A's and B's, and it's been answered this year. So.
I prayed one day when I was living with my aunt before I got married, and I said, Lord, I need a car. And the next morning I woke up and there was one in the driveway, literally. And then another time we prayed for a new vehicle, and the church had gotten one and decided to give it to us. So we now have a van.
Well, I have been praying recently that God would reveal himself to me as in what I should do next year, and through praying and seeking the Lord, he's provided some different opportunities through school and through even an opportunity to go to YWAM next year.
Yes, when my oldest son Jason wasn't born yet, we were worried that he wouldn't be born healthy. And when he was born, he was very healthy. So that was a big prayer answered.
A prayer that's been answered for me is getting enough money to go on my missions trip.
I prayed that my mom and dad would feel better, and they did.
The way that God answered a prayer was my husband and I were headed out to Nigeria to be missionaries, and we needed to have a certain amount of money each month for our support, and we were getting ready to leave, and we didn't have our passports, we didn't have our tickets, we didn't have all the money that we were supposed to have. And our passports and tickets arrived the day before we left with all our visas and everything, and then the money that we needed, literally we ended up getting the last, I think, $200 at church at the luncheon that we had before we left. And so when we got on the plane that afternoon, we had all our support, our tickets, our visas, and everything.
When I was younger, I had really bad asthma, and I prayed every day for him to relieve me of that, and here I am.
I prayed. He's answered lots of prayers for me. One of my prayers that he answered was that I met my husband, Mark. And I prayed that one day I would find somebody to spend the rest of my life with happily. And he answered.
Yes, when I was in college, I was a waitress to help pay for bills, and the company said that they couldn't get the checks because they were mailed and there was a big snowstorm, and all of a sudden I couldn't pay my bills. And when I got home, my father had sent me a check for $200, which totally covered everything, just because he thought I might need some money.
One particular, about 2 weeks ago in my prayer group with my church, there were several of us got together to pray for a particular person in the prayer group's grandfather who was very, very sick and was dying. He was expected to die within the month. So this is 2 weeks ago, and we prayed for him to recover, to be healthy, whole, and strong, and be able to work again, go back to his job and with his wife. And so we prayed, and now, less than 2 weeks later actually, but now 2 weeks from then, he is fully recovered, not in the hospital, not going to die, with his wife, and he's going back to work.
But one just recently, a friend of mine was to have surgery, and they had found something, and they weren't sure if it was cancerous or not, and so she had to go in for a pre-surgery for it. And just about a week ago, she got the results that it was not as bad as they thought, and it was not cancerous. And so she went ahead with her other surgery and is recouping, and God is just good. We had prayed for it in our classroom, and I told her we had the whole school. I had it on the prayer team that come on Monday praying for it, and I really believe that God answered that prayer for me. And it's just really special because it was something that they for sure thought was cancerous, and it proved that it wasn't.
Yes, I asked that my grandfather be healed, and now he made it through surgery, and he's good.
I have prayers answered every day, all day. Not always the way I want them, but they're always answered. Always.